everybody is
Go,
okay
go,
with you?
go,
Okay.
go.
So it's 10:30. We can start. Of course, we are recording the webinar. My task is just to welcome all of you here at the webinar, the second webinar of Origin. This will be about green economy, even if Regione Emilia-Romagna will added the word blue, because you know perfectly better than me that without blue there's no green, so they are really correlated issues. Emilia-Romagna is very, very, very engaged in the transition, in green transition, and so even on blue transition, since they are really connected topics for the sustainable green transition. So I don't want to spend too many words about us, but I want to introduce to you Geraldine, Dr. Geraldine Brennan, that is Head of Circular Economy at Irish Manufacturing Research that drives CirculEire, the national platform for circular manufacturing, an industry-led partnership accelerating Ireland's circular economy. Dr. Brennan specializes in shaping circular and sustainable business models, applying systems innovation to align with zero carbon circular economy transition. She is also an honorary fellow at CDR, Middlesex University Business School, and ESRC Center for Understanding Sustainable Prosperity. She is also visiting lecturer at Centre for Environmental Policy, Imperial College London. This is to introduce Geraldine, our moderator. Later, all presentation will be centered on green economy transition, except our presenter that will focus more on blue economy connected to green economy. That's all. So I think I spent all my 3 minutes, and I give the floor to Geraldine.
Thank you very much, Luca, for the kind welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. Thank you to the Eastern Midlands Regional Assembly as well, Ruth and colleagues. I was busy editing my slides as Luca was introducing, so I've changed it to the green and blue economy, because I agree wholeheartedly that when it comes to the transitions in terms of the broad sphere of objectives we're seeking to deliver, ultimately we need to ensure that we are holistic in our approach. So my presentation is specifically going to be around introducing Irish Manufacturing Research, the organization that I lead the Circular Economy unit of. I'm also going to spend a little bit of time on CirculEire, the program that Luca mentioned, which is Ireland's flagship circular innovation network. It will be a whistle-stop tour, because the main event today is good practices from all around Europe. I have the honor of effectively chairing today's session, ensuring we have an action-packed agenda. So I'll finish my presentation with giving you a quick recap while the first speaker is preparing to share their slides. I have the role of timekeeper, so I will also be interjecting to keep us all to time, but I think it's going to be a really rich conversation. I'm really looking forward to it. So give me 1 second while I share my slides. So good morning, and as I said, thank you very much for the opportunity to moderate today's session. CirculEire, and before I'm going to kind of take a little bit of a tangent before I proceed into the details of CirculEire, but just to say that a lot of what this program is doing is Ireland is sharing best practice. So in terms of the alignment between what the Origin project is doing and what CirculEire is doing in the Irish ecosystem, it is very much aligned, and the value is appreciated. Very quickly, who are Irish Manufacturing Research? We're an Enterprise Ireland and IDA Ireland supported technology centre. We're a research performing organisation that's operating at a high TRL level, supporting industry in translational applied research to ultimately demystify, de-risk, and deliver technologies, process, and concepts like circular economy, like green economy, like blue economy. The images on the right-hand side are our two offices, one in County Dublin and the other in Mullingar, which is in the heart of the island of Ireland. And Irish Manufacturing Research is the Secretariat of CirculEire. So we ultimately coordinate on behalf of the public sector and industry funders the running of all of the different activities, which I'm going to elaborate. Just in terms of our portfolio, so I lead the circular economy unit. There is currently 10 of us within the unit. IMR is about 100 strong and growing rapidly. I failed to mention actually before I dive into the projects that IMR is ultimately established out of an industry network. We're celebrating our 10th birthday this year as a research performing organization, and we operate across 4 key areas: digitization, automation and control, design for manufacturing, and sustainable manufacturing, which is where the circular economy unit sits. And we work interdisciplinarily and transversely across those different technology or thematic areas. So diving into the circular economy, my current circular economy portfolio, I don't have the opportunity to share some of the previous projects we've done, maintains or consists of CirculEire, which was established in 2020 and which will be the focus of my presentation today. There's a little bit of background noise. I'm just wondering, Ruth, if you could possibly, as co-chair, mute anyone just during the presentations. That would be very helpful. And apologies. Obviously, we want today to be interactive, but just for the recording and anyone who joins in after, it's a bit tricky. Thank you very much. So in terms of CirculEire, which, as I said, I'm going to do a deep dive on, I just wanted to flag our activity in the European landscape and in the national research landscape. We're part of one of the first Horizon Europe projects looking at digital product passports and the digital thread. You may have come across CircThread, given that digital product passports and digitalization in information flow exchanges are fundamental to scaling up circular economy business models and making it economically feasible, and also highlighting where the environmental and social impacts are actually occurring and that they are occurring. And then another project looking specifically at the role of AI as a Industry 4.0 technology to enable industry and how and in what way it could support the deployment of circular economy practices across different sectors like manufacturing and the like. So now specifically on to CirculEire, the National Platform for Circular Innovation. Just to give you a bit of context with regards to Ireland's journey with regards to the circular economy. Effectively back in 2018 and 2019, Irish Manufacturing Research recognized that there was what we called a circular innovation gap in Ireland. Effectively, the Environmental Protection Agency had estimated that we utilize over 100 million tons of materials annually in the Irish economy. And a number of years before, they had commissioned a study to look at the economic gains from effectively improving material use. And improving material use means fundamentally recycling. So a 5% increase in material use rate or recycling could yield an estimated €2 billion opportunity. Myself and my colleagues came along in 2018, 2019, and we noted a follow-up study that effectively said that this economic opportunity had not been capitalized. And that highlighted that despite the awareness of a macroeconomic target, there was still a knowledge, capacity building, and implementation gap within Irish industry, which was the basis for the creation of CirculEire. So CirculEire is Ireland's first industry-led public-private partnership dedicated to circular innovation. As I mentioned before, Irish Manufacturing Research is the Secretariat. We were established in collaboration with 3 public sector strategic partners: Ireland's Department of the Environment, Climate and Communications, the Environmental Protection Agency, and an entity that many of you are probably familiar with given its role in climate innovation over the last decade plus some, EIT Climate Kick. So the Department of Environment, EPA and Climate Kick committed to a 3-year pilot We commenced with 25 industry founding members. They're cross-sectoral. The diagram in front of you is a representation of the cross-sectoral network and the members we have in the program to date. There are over 50 companies ranging from micro-enterprise SMEs to multinationals across the range of sectors from medical devices, pharmaceuticals, ICT, textiles, plastics, consumer goods, the built environment, automotive, agri-food and drinks, and more recently, financial services. So 2 of Ireland's biggest banks have joined the network to understand how they can essentially do due diligence to support finance flows towards businesses that have circular economy business models. The other thing to flag there, under associate members in the middle of the diagram, is the logo for the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine, because effectively there was a recognition that whilst they have activities and they are funding research and engagements around specifically the bioeconomy, there is a significant interconnection, back to Luca's introduction, between the bioeconomy, the blue economy, and circular economy. So our sphere of interest is in the circular bioeconomy. So how does CirculEire support Irish industry to capture circular advantage? And Luca and Ruth, if you could give me a 2-minute warning for my 10 minutes, because I expressed that while I am chair for everyone else, I need someone to be chair for me to keep me to time. The way that we work, we've done a lot around awareness raising. Ireland has a very low circular material use rate, and back in 2018 and 2019, despite the Circular Economy Action Plan launching in Europe in 2015, fundamentally, if you ask people what the circular economy was, they would say, sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. And effectively, that is the basis. And apologies, that is in the context of industry, not the wider ecosystem. But in the context of industry, most people did not or were not aware of this concept. Or if they were aware of the term, they didn't understand what it meant for them. So we've done a lot of work around knowledge sharing and then increasingly policy engagement as Ireland's policy and regulatory landscape has evolved. We've gone from policy statements emerging in 2018, 2019 to the publication of a Circular Economy Materials Act in 2021, placing circular economy in statutory footing linked to climate action. So it cannot go off the political agenda. That is fundamental. We have a circular economy strategy. We have a national waste management action plan. We have a number of different plans and strategies, and I could spend the whole duration of this webinar talking about those. So I'm just dropping that in there.
2 minutes, Geraldine.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Ruth. As I said, it's when people are passionate about their topics, it's very easy to get waylaid. We have capacity building tools. We have an innovation fund or an venture accelerator, and we do a lot in the wider European ecosystem. So as I said, whistle-stop tour to wrap up. An overview of some of the projects that we funded through the Innovation Fund over 2020 to 2022. Main thing here is that they were cross-sectoral. All of the case studies from these innovation pilots are available. If you see there's a QR code and a link, the slides will be shared. The Venture Accelerator, this is the first in Ireland that's dedicated to ventures who are demonstrating a circular business model or enabling a circular business model. So again, this is very specific to help ventures who are coming up against specific challenges to scale their business models in the valley of death. The other thing we've invested in is what we call circular good practice guides, ranging from agri-food to food and drinks, to the construction and built environment, ICT, electronics, aviation, textiles and fashion, water. And this is where we've looked at best practice. And my colleague who's led some of this work is just joining the call, Paul McCormick-Cooney. Again, we've looked at international best practice, so probably from many regions that are sharing today, in order to support Irish industry's transition to learn from best practice in Europe. So in terms of today's agenda, so this is part one, speakers queue to start getting ready. As Luca said, he has welcomed on behalf of Origin partners, everyone here today, and kindly introduced me and invited me to give you a bit of a flavor of what CirculEire is. But it is my pleasure to highlight who will be speaking to us today. We have best practice from Estonia, Romania, and Sweden in the first hour. I will then go to a Q&A session. And so effectively, while the presenters are speaking, if you could add your questions, write them into the chat function. Then at the Q&A session, we'll only have time to address one question for each presentation, but the speakers have kindly agreed that they will share their contact details so that if there's anything you'd like to follow up with them post the presentation, post the slides and recording, they welcome your engagement. We will have a 10-minute comfort break halfway through, and then after the comfort break, we'll have the other three best practice projects from Region Emilia-Romagna, Prešov in Slovakia, and Catalonia, Spain. And then again, we'll have a 10-minute Q&A, one question for each panel. So while the presentations are being presented, please put your questions in the chats, and then I will do a very quick wrap up at the end, and we commit to letting you go on your way no later than 11:50, 12:50, or 13:50, depending what part of Europe you joined us today. So thank you very much. I will stop sharing my slides and invite Margit to share her slides and hand over to her. Margit, are you ready?
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm going to tell you how we shape tomorrow in the green economy for sustainable food security. This is my mission here. My name is Margit Pruul, and I welcome you from beautiful island Hiiumaa. I hope you know where Estonia's second biggest island is. I'm there as a former organic producer, and I produce there different food supplements from nettle and other weeds. My passion for organic food innovation started when I spent a year as an exchange student in Italy. So, buongiorno tutti italiani qua. It was 20 years ago, but I still love everything which is connected to the food innovation. And I had an idea to produce some great northern superfood out of our own locally grown and unused wild weeds. And my main ingredient in all of my products is nettle. But last year, I accepted an offer to become a head of NGO Organic Estonia, which is an umbrella organization for all organic producers. We have now 67 members from all over the Estonia. Our organization is standing for organic food, healthy lifestyle, and clean nature. We have also significant network of farmers, and it's growing. So I would like to welcome you to Estonia. We are Baltic, one of the Baltic countries, but we also known as a green Nordic region. And in today's world, Estonia is very unique. We have enormous amount of free space and abundant nature, forest, with a very little human touch. We have very clean environment here and strong commitment to staying local. We know and we have very well preserved knowledge of traditional harvesting, which is also unique in Europe. And the very fast-growing interest to contribute necessity being organic farming. It is the harmony of the spirit together with nature bounty that we will see even better and driving Estonia. So our dream is that Estonia will be known as an organic country. And it's possible. We have opportunities because 51% of Estonia's territory is covered by forests. 45% of Estonian forests are potential organic harvesting area. 22 of Estonian land is already organic. 24% of Estonia is a nature preserve. So it's not just a dream. We are working on that.
Margit, apologies
Yes.
for interjecting. I just wanted to double check whether or not you would be sharing slides or whether, because we haven't, it's okay if you don't want to. I just wanted to double check because we are not seeing any.
I am sharing slides, but
I can't see any. I don't know. No.
Okay.
So we were I was able to follow you, but I was mindful. I thought you might be sharing slides, but we weren't seeing them. So I just wanted to pause and interject to see if we could rectify that.
I was thinking that I'm sharing slides, but that's good that you interrupt. So let me do it again.
There you go.
Here we are. Now
there we go.
Right.
Grazie, Margit.
Okay.
Fantastic. And just to let you know that you've got 9 minutes left. So I'm mindful of the interjection, and I'll give you a 1 minute warning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So being organic for us, it's only way for sustainable living, because organic production is environmentally friendly and does not use any hazardous pesticides and things like that. So for us, it's very important. And of course, for the production, because this increases soil biodiversity and fertility, improves the environment for animals, birds, and provides cleaner products for us, for humans. This is the beautiful thing on that. But of course, we all face challenges. The whole world faces significant challenge in ensuring food security for a growing population, while also combining challenge climate and environmental degradation. And of course, the war is affecting a lot everything what we are talking about in green economy and food production. And also our current common agricultural practice contributes to soil degradation, water pollution, and greenhouse gas emission. That's also very bad. So the climate change future exhibits these challenges. So we need to take care of that challenges. But a green economy offers, in our way of thinking, a solution to those challenges, because green economy focuses on sustainability, in reducing environmental impacts, and also encourages innovation to all in our agricultural system, in renewable energy, and of course, what is very important, is waste management and conservation. Our main concern is this sustainable agriculture, which is very important, and we promote all the practices that maintain soil health and minimize chemical inputs. Techniques such as organic farming, agroforestry helps reduce environmental impact and increase productivity, and this is crucial. So also the green economy relies on renewable energy resources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. And this is important because it also provides energy independence for our farmers and our rural communities. Integration of renewable energy in agriculture reduces reliance on fossil fuels and lowers production cost. So now we are moving to the waste management, which is also the main concern here, especially in our island, which is not easy to manage everything, but it minimize waste and maximize resource efficiency. And we do everything to recycle organic waste through composting, and bioenergy production reduces greenhouse gas emissions and improves our soil fertility. So we can say that sustainable waste management practices reduce pollution and protect ecosystems, contributing overall environmental health. And now we are going to the most important part, which is ensuring food security. The green economy is ensuring food security for sure, for the present and for the future generation, and also important in our nowadays security situation. And the sustainable agriculture practices increase food production and preserves ecosystems and natural resources. So that's all about this renewable energy, waste management, and conservation efforts to contribute secure food system, which is really, really important for me, and I think for all of us. And in a conclusion, I invite you and all other listeners to shape tomorrow in a green economy for a sustainable food security. And this is important for well-being of people, for all of us, and for our planet. And talking about embracing sustainability, innovation, and collaboration, we can overcome the challenges of climate change, and we can ensure food security. So I just invite, let us work together to build a future where everyone has access to the nutritious food without pesticides, clean drinking water, and our planet thrives in harmony with the nature. And now I will take my beloved dog and my basket, and I will walk to the forest trail. So, and I will invite you to keep this in mind, that let's make the world greener together. It was very rush way to introduce Organic Estonia. My contacts are there, Margit/organicestonia.ee, and you can find more in our webpage, www.organicestonia.ee. And maybe it was too rush because of the slide missing. And I thank you for the attention, and I'm happy later to take any questions you may have.
So, Margit, in light of the slight technical glitch, you did speed up. So we have 2 minutes. I wonder, Ruth Kilcullen just placed a question in the chat, which I think it'd be good to just address now. And then as people are digesting the presentations, they can put others. Could you tell us about the types of organizations that are members of Organic Estonia? So I'll only take that question, and the rest we'll save for the Q&A. Was that clear, Margit? Would you like me to repeat it?
The main thing is that they have to follow all the organic rules. So we can just collect together all their needs, and we can, for example, go together to the international exhibitions. We can go to the shop chain. So we are presenting our organic producers. And the main rule is you have to follow all organic rules.
Great. Again, I've got 1 minute on my timer. So there was another question around how Organic Estonia is financed. What is your funding model? Do you receive money from the Estonian government?
So far, very little. but we now are 6 years operated, and we have the member fee, which is very small, but we are writing European projects, and we are using European funds for establishing new opportunities to our members. This is financed, and it is an NGO, yes.
Thank you.
It's more like a mission work.
Thank you very much, Margit. Appreciate you addressing those two questions. If I could ask you to stop sharing your slides, please. And there we go. There's my timer. And invite Elisa Cotorianu from Romania to introduce her organizational affiliation and kick off her presentation. So we'll just give Elisa an opportunity to transition.
Hello. Hello to everybody. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can. So what I'll do is I will check with everyone before we go to make sure the presentation is live. So yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I represent the National Agency of the Mountain Area, and I want to thank you for the occasion to present you to one of many good examples of Romanian economic rural project, local gastronomic points. The presentation touches on 5 main aspects: introduction, legal framework, professional training courses, the situation of local gastronomic points in Central region, and something about the international framework. The idea of the local gastronomic points belong to Ivan Pațaichin, a well-known Romanian athlete, Olympic medalist rower, who through the association Ivan Pațaichin, Mila-23, started this project since 2016. The objective was to help the community in Danube Delta to develop by increasing income obtained by putting into value the traditional gastronomy, the local tradition, and natural resources. This concept promotes rural tourism, and in a country like Romania can thus become a major incentive for economic development, giving the huge potential in this area. The definition of the local gastronomic point is a unit represented by private kitchens within rural households where culinary products are prepared and served according to local recipes directly to the final consumer for a maximum of 15 people. Local gastronomic points and the agri-food sector are closely linked through the use of fresh and high-quality local ingredients in culinary preparation, stimulating local demands for agricultural and food products from the region, and can provide a stable and secure market for local farmers and producers. The culinary products must be prepared from produce mainly obtained from the primary production of their own household farms and served directly by the family members. Unlike restaurants or guest houses, local gastronomic points offer tourists the opportunity to enjoy traditional local dishes produced and served directly by family members in their own households, without compromising the consumer health. There is no a la carte menu in the local gastronomic points. They are allowed to serve a full menu that includes 2 courses of food and dessert, customer choosing from maximum of 2 courses of culinary preparation. It was necessary to establish new rules regarding food safety, the legislation having to include specific rules for this new type of activity. The Ivan Pațaichin Mila-23 Association and the local Gastro Association played an important role in editing guides, but also in the drafting of legislation. In December last year, the legal framework was improved with the local gastronomic point law. This local gastronomic point can operate in permanent or seasonal households, agriculture farms, fish farms, wineries, hunting grounds. Owners and family members can prepare and serve food product directly to the final consumers in their own households. Food products can be obtained from primary production at the level of the owner's farms as well as other local producers. Raw materials used in food preparation must come only from authorized sanitary, veterinary and food safety units. Regarding the proportion of primary products and other raw materials, they must predominantly come from the owner's household or local producers. Due to the specificity of the activity, the farm-to-fork principle is respected and the activity supports local producers. It is the shortest food chain. It values local resources and biodiversity, and the carbon footprint is minimal. To support the people interested in owning a local gastronomic point, the National Agency of Mountain Area organized the nationwide professional training courses. The two pictures are from such courses held in one in Bilborg, Covasna County, and the other in Prešov County, and represent an example of how these courses are conducted. The courses are free of charge and are organized upon requests from a minimum of 10 participants. They span over 4 days with a total duration of 24 hours and are concluded with the issuance of a participation certificate. The courses are held in a physical, online, or hybrid format. The certificate obtained by course participants is recognized by the National Trade Register Office as a document attesting to professional training, and it is required for registering the activity of individual authorized persons. Authorization of the entire activity is simple and does not involve high costs. An example is the only tax for sanitary registration is something like 20 euro. Here is my colleague from Alba County with one participant of her courses, Ioana, and in the other picture is Ioana house, where is a local gastronomic point. The current situation in Central region, 147 local gastronomic points are registered in the 6 counties of the region: Alba, Brașov, Covasna, Harghita, Mureș, and Sibiu. Most of them, more than half, are open in Brașov, the most famous mountain tourist destination in Romania. In total, 360 local gastronomic points are registered in Romania. Now, at the National Agency, we are working on a map, an interactive one, and here print screen how this map looks like. But shows very well how they are arranged on the territory of Romania. Will be interactive for each local gastronomic point. We have location, pictures, and a short description. But I will let images to talk for me because the images sometimes speak better than words. I have for you some example of local gastronomic points that we are proud of. First is Kibuța storeroom in Sibiu, one of the oldest. Kibuța is the name of the lady, and you can see how rich is her storeroom. The other example are from Alba, Alba County and Prešov. In Prešov is the green brand. You can see how is the culinary production. And the Scărița Belioara from Alba is it's a cabin in the mountain. Very nice. And the last example is a local gastronomic point from Biertan, Sibiu. And I hope I'll convince you to go there and taste what they offers. This model of community development by combining rural tourism and primary production managed to stabilize communities by creating jobs, by highlighting various international events like the European Seminar Rural and Mountain Development, organized by the National Agency for Territorial Connection in France, in partnership with the European Association of Mountain Countries, Euromontana, Eureka 21 and ADT Consult, as well as the conference Skills for Mountains in Transition, the representation of the Lombardy region in Brussels, Belgium. And reminds me to invite you to visit as many of these local gastronomic points as possible to get to know Romanian at how it is at his home. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alicia. If possible, if you could share or add your contact details to the slides, so that if anyone after the event had any direct questions, that would be really welcome. Thank you very much for keeping to time. It is much appreciated. I'm conscious that I'm going to invite the next speaker to, even though we're a little bit ahead of schedule, and then allow us to do a kind of more traditional Q&A at the break. So Franziska Gandert from Sweden, if you were ready to share your screen and kick off your presentation, it would be great.
I'm on my way. Can everyone hear me, first off?
Yes.
Okay,
and
great.
I can see your slides, so I hope the rest of the audience can too.
Yes. So I can't start this presentation without saying thank you so much for having me. And hello, Europe. This is Härjedalen calling. I have to make this joke, sorry. So welcome to Sweden. Welcome to Härjedalen. I have the great pleasure and honor to take you along on a little project that I'm currently have the honor to run for the local municipality of Härjedalen. I titled this presentation Start Small, Think Big, and it's going to make a lot of sense once we got through it. The aim of the project that we're working on right now is to promote conditions for industrial symbiosis and circular business models in the rural municipality of Härjedalen. That's a mouthful. I have a little agenda as well to get you through. I will first off give you some facts and some insights on the challenges that we're facing up here in the mountain areas. You can see some of those behind. I'll give you some of the project key facts, goals, scope, and the project plan. And then I'll talk a bit about starting small and thinking big, and what we consider to be a best practice from this little project that is soon about to end, and talk a little bit why communication is key. And you'll find my contact details at the end. So let's start. Härjedalen, here we are, centered in Sweden. We do have a little bit over 10,000 permanent residents living on roughly 12,000 of square kilometers. So if you wonder where you can get lost, it's here. You can be one person having your very own square kilometer of space However, we do have some periods of time where we are a lot of more people around here because we do get roughly 5 million of guests, tourists visiting us and our lovely mountains and the forest that you can see in my back. We do have, as part of like the situation where we're working from, a good infrastructure to work from. We do have a good glass fiber nets. We do have a good electricity net and water supply. And our capital town is named Sveg. When you get there, you wouldn't call it a town. I think it's about just 3,000 people living there, but it's our little capital. And it has a little airport and a little train station, and it's connected through the European Route 45. The main industries in Härjedalen, as you might guess from the slide before, it's tourism, which generates a lot of million Swedish crowns. I count that by 10 if you want to have the euro number. I didn't think of converting that. And it generates, or it provides roughly 3,500 permanent jobs, plus a lot of more people that come here to work during either the winter season from December to May, the time that we have snow. The rest bits are just melting as we speak. And then during the summer times when it's time for hiking and bicycling and all of this wonderful summer activities. So there's some not permanent jobs also coming from the tourism industry. Then we do have a lot of renewable energy. We do have a lot of water plants, one river also on the back that you can see, and a lot of more. And we do have a growing number of wind parks around here, currently roughly around 130 turbines. And the third biggest industry you can guess, also from my background, it's the forest, it's the trees. That's also generating a lot of jobs and turnover in Härjedalen. All of this beauty comes with challenges, you may guess. We do have long distances to travel within our beautiful municipality, but also to other regions within Sweden. So transportation is a thing, very much. And climate is something we have to name. However, not so much the heat yet, but so much so when we want to speak about agriculture in a second. We do have very long winters with freezing temperatures. And my colleagues just told me you should write down that we actually have -25 a couple of weeks during the winter, so that people, when I say freezing, we're not talking about like -3 here. And we do have short sunlight periods in the winter. So as a result of that, we do not have so much agriculture production as today. We have some few small scale hectares. Some are working with some small potatoes. They don't grow as big due to the circumstances. We do have some beautiful cows walking along and some chicken, but not as much. And as a result of that, the most of the food that gets consumed by us, roughly 10,000 inhabitants and our 5 million guests per year, is getting imported. And as a result of that, if you're looking to visit the most expensive supermarkets all over Sweden, you could also find those here because everything has to transport it long ways to get here. So, some facts about the project that we are running. The project owner is, as mentioned, the municipality of Härjedalen. The time frame is, as mentioned here, we started last September and we have until June, 1 month to go. We are currently starting to wrap it all up. We have a budget of 1.3 SEK, which is roughly at the moment 120,000 euros. And it was funded with 50% by the region of Jämtland Härjedalen, which is also the project fund of Origin, which is why I'm here today, because they thought this project could be something to show. 40% comes through the European Regional Development Fund, and 10% is funded by the municipality itself. So why are we doing what we're doing in this project? We do have some, what I call the why slide. Why are we doing that? We have strategic goals. We want to work towards an increase of residents in Härjedalen. As you may guess, a municipality with so little inhabitants, but that big of a space, we do have some challenges. And if we could get a few more people to live here, that would actually help us out. And we have space, and it's nice, so you're welcome. We want to support local and regional competitiveness because, well, if the businesses are doing well, they can employ more people, and then more people could live here. And we, of course, are also aware about the challenges, the climate challenges, and the global goals that we all need to work together on to achieve those. So these are our main Northern Stars. And these supporting goals that we put down here is that we want to support efficiency, supply security, speaking of food, and competitiveness of local businesses. We want to promote a transition to a circular and resource efficient economy. We want to contribute to a diversified industry and labor market that creates more job opportunities. And we want to promote new sustainable businesses within 10 months with a budget of 120,000 euros. There you go. So how do we do that? We do have some practical goals. This is what I called my project to-do list, and we're going to check all of this off as we're wrapping up our project. We want to increase knowledge about smart resource efficiency and circularity. As it has been mentioned before, there are still some people, when you mention circularity and industrial symbiosis, they go dull. So this is very much part of the project to build awareness. We want to build networks and foster collaboration, both locally, regionally, and nationally. We create an inventory and categorize companies with their energy and material flows. And when you read energy here, you should include warmth in your thoughts. It's just not just electricity when we say energy. We want to initiate innovation processes, and we want to develop concept proposals for circular business models, and we want to create foundation for a pilot or demonstration facility. All of this within 10 months and 120,000 euros of budget. Here we go. The project has 4 parts. The first part is where we do an inventory of every actor that could be part of an industrial symbiosis. The second part is focused on energy flows, looking at what kind of energy flows do we see at our local actors. Who has a lot of warmth has been a big focus in the project work. And we have looked at material symbiosis, looking at who has waste materials or what they call waste, which could be a resource for another business. And with all of that, in part 4, we'll sitting down with all the puzzle pieces and trying to come up with smart, cool, and innovative proposals for what could we do with all of that to reach our goals in the future. This is the project plan. Just to give you a short overview, we had a start period. We have worked with the 1 to 3 parts roughly in the first half of the project. Then we figured out, oh, we found something here, we found something there. We could start working on part 4, puzzling it together and find some cool concepts. In March, we arranged a conference where we brought people together, make them talk. And as we speak, we are about to wrap it up and write a final report. And we will end with some proposals for next steps for bigger projects. There will be more than one idea and proposal coming from this project work, this groundwork that we have done. Start small. So what does that woman mean when she says that? We have looked around. What we saw, what we figured out is, well, as mentioned, we do have high green energy production, and we do have very competitive prices compared to other regions in Sweden and also other regions in Europe. So it actually should be very attractive for an actor to put down some production plant in Härjedalen, just considering the energy prices. And then we figured out, well, there in Sveg, our little capital town, you remember, there's a power plant. And we spoke to the energy company and found out that this power plant has a lot of heat surplus, which they today, for some sort of money, just try to blow away to get rid of. And just a couple of 100 meters away, there's a greenhouse. And we went, couldn't we do something about that? Well, we could. And on top of that, we didn't have to look way further to find out, well, the municipality actually also owns more land very close to both the power plant and the existing greenhouse. could we put something on this land? We reached out to innovators, both universities, academies, and companies that are working with innovative technology and research. As an example, we have contact to a company that works with has developed a greenhouse technology that could lower the energy consumption by 80%, which is good because, well, the greenhouse that is there, when you think about it, you might ask, why haven't they thought about it before? Why isn't it already running on this heat surplus? Well, this greenhouse that is there, first off, it's just 1,000 square meters small or big, you can say, and it needs an upgrade. It's not really designed to also work all year round, but there is technology available that could make it go all year round, and we have space close where we could maybe put up some more greenhouses so that this investment to pull in the pipe could actually be something to start working with. So now I'm warning you, the next slide is what some might call a death by PowerPoint. Just bear with me, keep your focus on the greenhouse, keep your eyes there, and see what happens. This is the magic that we're trying to make happen in the future. This is the puzzle that we got to puzzle together with all the people that we've spoken during the project time. What if all of this comes together? What if we could upgrade the greenhouse, put in the pipe, use the heat surplus? What could we put on the land that is close to that? We have contact to, for example, a company that has interest in putting up the hydrogen gas production, which also would have a heat surplus, which also has a surplus of oxygen that we could use also for fish farming that could be in a greenhouse. We could also have use for a biofuel production in some sort, because all of this 5 million tourists, and we are 10,000 ourselves, we do generate quite some food waste that could go into there. We could, of course, make use of locally produced fruits and greens and fish for ourselves, but also for the food stores, restaurants, and hotels that are serving all our 5 million guests. So, and after all, it will also have some great effects because it will create jobs. It could help people that are maybe a step away from the job market to find a nice spot, for example, to work in such a greenhouse. We could open up the greenhouse to invite people that are not feeling well, especially, well, I like the Swedish winter a lot. I've moved here from Germany, but it's long and it's dark. And just think about the opportunity that there's a space where there's warm and greenery growing even in the winter time. We could open it up and invite people, especially in November and October, to come into the greenhouse and be there. So it can also be a little attraction for the people.
Franziska, yes, 1 minute.
Yes, I'm wrapping up. So just to make all of this happen, communication is key. Here's some logos of some of the companies that we invited to our dialogues during this project time. And this one is just, I thought, what could you have as a takeaway from my presentation? Keep everyone in mind. Every stakeholder needs to be involved if you want to make such a thing happen. Both internally and externally, there's a lot of stakeholders. And I think what was very helpful that we had dialogues, workshops, and the huge conference to figure out where are they coming from, what can they offer, what do they need to take the next steps to make it really happen. So communication is key. That was the takeaways that I wanted to leave you with. Start small, think big, and communication is key. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Franziska. Much appreciated. So perhaps if you'd stop sharing your screen, and I'll invite the 3 panelists, including yourself, Margit, Pruul, Elisa, Kotorianu, to be ready to take some questions. I'm going to look at the chats. And given that we have 10 minutes, I'm going to pose a question to each of you first. And then if we still have time, we'll address further questions. So Margit, there was a question from John Paul Faulkner in the context of Ireland, and he has flagged that key stakeholders are quite concerned regarding the perceived reduction in production that transitioning towards organic farming will entail. Could you share your perspective from the Estonian context? Is there similar concerns, and how are you addressing them? Is Margit still with us, Ruth? Apologies, I realized that she was there, and maybe she is. She may not be still able to be with us. I'm just checking. Okay, I don't see her. Apologies, I should have checked that before I asked the question. Bear with me. So, John, we will forward on the question and invite Margit to respond. Just see. Okay, so there was another question for Margit. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. So, Alyssa, coming over to you in the context of the local gastronomic points in Romania, could you tell us a bit about the process of getting producers involved in this initiative, and how it was your agency, the National Agency for Mountain Areas, has promoted it to producers?
In each county, the National Agency of the Mountain Area has a representative who knows the area very well. Actually, I visit and my colleagues do the same. Those farms in our area, and we present the concept and the benefits obtained if they actually will have a local gastronomic point. One help was the example of the Danube Delta, where they operated, but in an unauthorized form. You know, they have actually such a local gastronomic point, but without authorization, they do just no rules, no authorization. Now the concept is already known, and local producers one comes directly to us and ask how they open something like that. They want to participate actively because this activity ensures them higher incomes than if they went to sell their products to the market or supermarket or something like that. Including the wishes in terms of tourism after the pandemic favorized this development. We all want something more traditional, something more healthy, and we want air, space, big images and landscapes. The only way of promotion was the organized courses, through which we managed to make this aspect as well as known possible. The courses are for all the people, not just for farmers. It's not rules for who want to participate. Actually, we don't do something, we do our job. We think this is, we don't have a campaign or something, incentive methods for farmers. They see the benefits and they want to have some a local gastronomic point.
Thank you, Elisa. That was great to understand that a bit more. Francisca, turning to you, there were two questions in the chat, and I'm going to highlight them both to you, and if possible, if you could address them, that would be great. One was, what was the source used for production of biofuels? So what is the idea in that kind of industrial symbiosis map you presented? How would the biofuel be generated? Also, if you do that one, and then I'll address the next one.
Yeah, that would be quick. I just mentioned it quickly, that our idea would be, they are currently, or they are about to put up a biogas plant like 3 hours away from here. But we do see that we have a lot of own food waste coming from ourselves, but also from our guests. So it's, and if we put up those greenhouses, they will also generate organic waste that could go into such a plant. It might not be super big, but it will be big enough to go around, as you say.
Thank you. The second question was with regards to the role that the municipality and yourself and your team are playing in connecting the dots between the different actors in the ecosystem. So you highlighted the importance of communication, identifying who all the different type of stakeholders were in order to make an industrial symbiosis possible. Could you reflect and comment on the role of local authorities or governments in coordinating the adoption of circular models by industry?
Yeah, I think we have to start with also putting ourselves into their shoes. Many of them do not have these on top of their minds, or do not have it as a focus area to work with what they have as a waste built into their calculation as of today. They just have that baked into their business model. We have some waste here, we have some waste there. So it takes someone to just point at that and to point at a solution and match these two, and to get the people together to talk to each other. I think that's a rule, and it's also that's something that also everyone that has been involved has mentioned that they would very much like to have going forward within the next steps, to help them to find each other and to help them to be a platform for a dialogue, at least until we get to some point where it kicks off, where they sign contracts, where they have everything figured out. And of course, there might also be some organizational questions, and maybe we'll have to make something possible as well.
And Francisca, a follow-up question from myself, given the role that CirculEire has played, and I hesitated in my own presentation. I had a industrial symbiosis project that we've done in the past, but I was like, there's too much to talk about in 10 minutes, so I didn't bring it in. So I was delighted to see your emphasis and your systems map, because I think it's really important to highlight these things. I was just curious, in Sweden, what are the regulations like around valorizing production residues? So in terms of Article 28, and then actually end of waste status in terms of Article 27 in the European context, because the regulatory obligations associated with industrial symbiosis are not actors who are shifting into the space often aren't aware of them, because they're used to dealing with virgin products where these regulatory areas don't apply. Could you reflect on your experience in the Swedish context?
I would actually have to look up details to give you a full-scale answer, but what I can say is that we have, in some dialogues, been brought up this question is, we can't sell that because it's declared as waste, and we are not allowed to sell this. And this very much is, when we're talking about waste materials, it's not so much a problem when we want to get heat somewhere else.
Okay.
At least, so, but paper, plastic that goes off normally could be an issue.
So
and
in the
question mark we have to look at.
And that's something that we've encountered here, where well-intentioned industry actors who are seeking to valorize, create value from a waste because they perceive it to be a resource, aren't fully aware that in the context of the European Union Waste Framework Directive, if it is being declared and designated as a waste, it has to go through an end of waste process with the Irish Environmental Protection Agency. If it is a residue, so the heat from the power plant is a residue effectively from heat production, it has to be notified as a byproduct to the Environmental Protection Agency in Ireland. And those things are not necessarily widespread. There's not a huge amount of widespread understanding. So CirculEire has done some work in that space to ensure that people are aware of the regulatory obligations associated with innovating in the circular economy. Thank you very much. That brings Welcome back, everybody. I hope you managed to stretch your legs and get a hot or cold drink if you needed one, depending on where you are in the world. And very much looking forward to the next part of today's webinar. Some very interesting good practices have been highlighted, and some more to come. So if I could invite Tizania Apollos Denitis from the Emilia-Romagna region in Italy to turn on your camera and share your screen.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, you're very welcome.
Good morning. So thank you for inviting and involving me. Just 1 second and I will immediately share my screen.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, let me see.
We can see that.
Okay, so perfect. Is it in presentation mode, right?
Give it 1 second. Yeah, now you're in presentation mode.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Again, thank you for involving me. My name is Tiziana Denitis, and I work for Emilia-Romagna region. I'm a colleague of Pier Giorgio and Luca, but I belong to another Directorate General. So I will give some information concerning the expertise and good practices that we have collected from our experience. And as I belong to a specific unit that deals with green, blue, circular, space economy, so many topics. Let's start with a short overview about our region. So, of course, we are in the north of Italy, and so basically we are one of the 22 Italian regions, and our regional administrations count about 5 directorate generals. And here are some figures concerning the agencies that we also have at regional level, and the employees we are, so quite many, I would say. And so the Directorate General I belong to is managing authority of the ERDF and also of the European Social Fund Plus. And our territories is really characterized by very good performance in terms of innovation. As you can see here, so we have research centers, we have laboratories, so we have European agencies that are located in our region as well as among the others. We are very proud also to be the national coordinators of the Italian regions within the national technology cluster that is devoted to the blue economy, that is called BIG, Blue Innovation Growth. And again, last year we have been confirmed from the EU Commission as a strong region exactly for the excellent performance in terms of innovation. And here's some other information concerning the data about the fact that we range first at Italian level for expert and in patent per capita, as well as for university students that are in our region. Coming to the topics and policies that we deal with, as briefly said, so we deal with everything that has to do with energy specifically and energy efficiency, support of the renewable development and the use in our region. And among those also hydrogen, that is for us really key topic right now, green hydrogen especially, so the sustainable one. And concerning the field of work, so of course we deal with green, blue, circular and space economy. And concerning policy instruments, let's say that our key reference is for sure what we call Pact for Work and Climate, where we have declared and are also acting, of course, concretely to achieve a very ambitious goals, such as the carbon neutrality by 2050 and the 100% renewable by 2035, which is very close. Then, of course, as instrument supporting policy strategies, this is just one. Of course, we have many. So there is, of course, very important the regional program of the ERDF, because there we set per axis our priorities where we invest our money on. Then we have, of course, the regional energy plan, the 3-year implementation plan. We have also a specific law devoted to the setting up of the renewable energy communities, for instance. And of course, another important reference for us is the smart specialization strategies that counts about 15 priorities. More in depth concerning the smart specialization strategies and ERDF, here you can see so basically the topics that are priority for us. And of course, concerning green and blue, there is plenty of, because we have for instance the priority 1 that is focusing on clean and affordable secure energy rather than the circular economy, the protection of air, water and land, the blue growth, as said, that is become a priority, especially in this new programming period, thanks to the excellent results that we have collected locally, regionally, let's say, but also to the many good results through the gained through the implementation of EU-funded projects. And of course, last but not least, here a kind of detail concerning the allocation of the funds that are related to the ERDF, to make you understand how important research, innovation and competitiveness is relevant in our territory. But within that, there are many measures that are connected to the green and blue and to the sustainability, apart from Axis 2 that is specifically devoted to the sustainability, the decarbonization, the biodiversity, and of course also the priority Axis 3 that is focusing on mobility and air quality. What we have achieved so far, considering that we are within Origin, that is an EU project, I've thought that it would be interesting to announce and to take this opportunity also to spoiler and networking with you concerning our international experience. We are actually the lead partner of Blue Ecosystem, that is a project that is has been recently approved within the Euromed program, Interreg, of course, and that will support basically, let's say, innovation, specifically addressing to clusters and companies, but with a five Alex approach, and to set up a transformative co-creation innovation labs. In addition to this, we have also entered the Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership that is launched, has been launched within Horizon program, and we will be one of the first EU region supporting and co-financing this partnership, allocating part of our ERDF funds. Then we are also the coordinator of MASBE, that is the Maritime Sustainable Blue Bioeconomy Partnership, created within the community of practice within the field of blue. And that is a very wide partnership. We have also undersigned and the charter concerning the mission, the mission that one of those launched again within Horizon concerning the preservation of ocean and waters. And as I said before, we are also the coordinator of the Italian regions within the National Technology Cluster, Big Blue Italian Growth. What is Blue Ecosystem about? I'm not going to give. I'm not going, into details. Just to tell you that. It is an interesting follow-up of a project that we have also led in the previous programming period, and basically groups, so a partnership quite wide, constituted by 10 partners and 12 associated partners coming from 8 different countries of the mid area, and we will have an overall duration of 33 months. And as said, so our ambition is to, in this new project, not only support a better performance innovation in a sustainability perspective, also supporting the development of new skills, blue skills of young generations. But the step forward compared to Mistral, that was the, let's say, the daddy and mom of blue ecosystem, is then to also involve more citizens in this kind of innovation, open innovation process through the creation of a transformative, innovative lab. Concerning MASBE, that I've just mentioned very briefly before, well, MASBE, whose acronym is Maritime Sustainable Blue Bioeconomy, is a very interesting partnership that is part of the Sustainable Blue Economy that has been launched in 2022 by the EU Commission. And within this partnership, so we've managed, thanks to the many relationships and solid and long-lasting relationships with different regions across Europe, to build up a partnership of 51 organizations. It is very promising. And it is very interesting because so Maritime Sustainable Blue Bioeconomy represents different sea basins. So we have the Adriatic and Ionian area, the Mediterranean, the Atlantic, and also the Black Sea. And last but not least, there has been a new entry within our partnership, that is the International Mediterranean and Black Sea Observatory, that just alone counts for 239 patents from 39 different countries. So it is really very huge, and it has been, let's say, important to build up this this new partnership because we have crossed the different priorities in terms of smart specialization strategies of the organizations that are involved. Most of them are regions, but we have also ministries, specifically in the area of Balkans, because the S3 in terms of responsibility management is managed at central level, so governmental level, and basically our focus will be on these four main thematic areas, and I'm very happy and proud to see to have our colleagues Pier Giorgio and Luca that have been appointed by vote as coordinator for the marine biotic resources. We are at the very beginning, but it is really a huge partnership that is very promising for the potentials and for future developments. What else? Well, at international level, as said, we have been involved. We have a long-lasting experience because we have been involved in many different programs and projects. Green and blue. Absolutely. Indeed, here I have reported some that, for instance, in the case of Benefit, Boosty or Fire CA, we are talking about energy. Benefit was to preserve the historical built areas, how to make this specific target more efficient in terms of energy, with many obstacles that you can figure out in terms of preservation of what is strictly preserved and managed in low terms, let's say. So it is very difficult to intervene. Then Boosty was about, it has been completed, is a Central Europe project, as well as Benefit was, and was to create a very innovative platform to support the energy efficiency applied to buildings, and how to group experts, public authorities, citizens, and all different kinds of stakeholders in order to make energy efficiency more visible, easy to understand, but also invest on that. Then we had the Fire CA, that was about innovative financial instruments supporting investment of companies to become more energy efficient. Just to mention some, I'm not going to mention each of them, but as mentioned also before, we were a lead partner of Mistral. That was a MED program, a MED project funded in the previous programming period, and presently, so we are involved in Circutronic, Liway, and Blue Ecosystem that belongs to different programs. Liway is an Interreg Europe, so is like your twin, and will try to support the setting up of renewable energy communities, while Circutronic, that act at Central Europe level in terms of program within the Interreg family, will promote and is already taking taking actions to have more circularity applied to electronic and electric equipment. So it's a very, very interesting project. We are partner in Circutronic, and our aim will be to create a network, of international labs devoted to circular economy. Then, of course, we are.
Apologies for interjecting. Last minute. Thank you very much.
Yes. And here some other initiative at European level where we are involved in, such as the Vanguard, the Under Tumu Coalition, that is a worldwide coalition trying to counteract pollution and taking actions on different, let's say, working fields in order to make our planet more sustainable. And of course, we are also within, for instance, more recently, also within the S3 Hydrogen Valleys partnership. And that's it. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tizania. A lot going on and a huge amount of leadership from your region. I haven't seen any questions in the chat, but I have some if there are not. So rest assured. Next up, I'd like to invite Pavel Dvorak from Bemida in Prešov, Slovakia. If you could turn your camera on and share your screen, not scream. Be much appreciated.
Hello,
Thank you. If you could, good. If you could share your screen just so we know it's working, and then I will hand the floor to you. Oh, you disappeared.
Yeah.
Where are you? So I can't see your map. There we go.
Do it right now. Okay. Do you see me?
We see ourselves, so we don't see your presentation just yet. We're seeing the screen for Microsoft Teams. There we go. Fantastic.
Okay.
Great.
Perfect.
Over to you, Pavel.
Thank you. I would like to introduce my company, not my company where I work. Company is Bemida, and we specialize in processing of technical textiles, and all our division is, thanks to this project, fully semi-automated. We basically have 3 main divisions: advertising, welding, and sewing department. And we make lots of stuff like clear tarpaulin, greenhouses, gazebo, tents, hangers, sorry, and anti-noise barriers. And this is the project. We were at this project because we want to improve our mobile noise barriers and make a better efficiency of noise cancelling or noise absorption of this product. So we partner with Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein grants, and yeah, we get it so we can acquire a new staff, new machines, and also we also can have our R&D department, so we can make some progress in efficiency of these anti-noise barriers. Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein grants is contributing by 85% of this project, and Slovak Republic contributes 50% financing to this project. And we get around that number, and we mostly buy stuff with it. So yeah, like new machines, state-of-the-art machines, which we can make our product better, have more quality in this product, and also have more efficiency. We partnered in this project with our university, Faculty of Management, Economic and Trade in Prešov. And we also partner with a technical university, which help us to get exact measurement of a new product, which we try to find and used in anti-noise barriers. The project goal was to improve the prevention of noise and dust emission into the environment to noise barriers, but also in construction and in other industries where reducing the impact of the noise on the environment is necessary. The secondary goal was the upcycling waste generated during the production of acoustic barriers and its reuse in a circular economy. Through upcycling, we manufacture floating barriers, which capture and prevent further waste spread in water areas. This is the activity of this project. Milestone. The project is already done. We finished it more or less in end of April this year. We still waiting for we sent patents to our patent office, but we still didn't get some like message back or something like this. So we are mostly finished, but not totally. This was the mandatory indicators, optional indicators. This thick things I just said. We also have a project publicity, so more people know about this in our area in East Slovakia. We also published scientific articles in Web of Science and Scopus. People from university also teach us and our employees some stuff which we can implement in our working progress or process. We were also in the project promotion at professional forums in High Tatras in 22 year, in ecological workshop in Košice, and also in the AKPK members and partners. All right, that was something about this project, and now I would like to tell something which is better for me, or I understand it more clearly, and this is the noise. Noise is generated by basically every physical body element which is with energy by its movement in the atmosphere, basically. In a vacuum, noise doesn't exist. Noise is defined as a production of vibration. Vibration is like small changes in the pressure in regular or irregular periods in succession through the medium. So gas, liquid, solid substance, noise is everywhere. The amplitude is measured as the strength of the noise in the form of energy or force of vibration exerted by the sound wave, essentially change pressure in the atmosphere. Amplitude is measured by, in decibels, which are expressed on a logarithmic scale. So basically, when you have a, basically when you have 0 decibels, it's if you can get 10 times more, you would have 10 decibels. But if you have 10 decibels and you wanna try to make 20 decibels, it's also 10 times more. But from 0 decibels to 20 decibels is like 100 more, if it's clear, I hope. 0 decibels is smallest detectable noise. 65 decibels is basically a dialogue, and 120 decibels is like a really noisy environment in a concert or starting of a plane or something like this. Frequency hearing by humans is basically from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz on 20 kilohertz. And yeah, the noise is noise have a different on humans. Noise is different basically, and it causes health effects. So when you in a noisy environment, you can get long-term noise health risk. So physical risk and psychological risk. Physical risk of health is basically hearing loss, high blood pressure, irregular heart rhythm, insomnia, accelerated breathing, and in such psychological terms, it's irritability, psychiatric disorder, negative behavior. Solution in this noise environments is use a protective equipment, earplugs when you work there, and when you live near to that, you can make you can use noise barriers or natural barriers like trees, hedges, or yeah, some barriers protection. This is the testing of our new mobile noise barriers in Quarry in Trebeio, close to us. This machine also generate lots of noise, so we try to eliminate it, try to measure the decrease of the noise in the environment and also decrease of the dust in the environment. This is floating barriers in our water area. This is in ORIGINN. It's really close to water electric generator, and when the waste comes to this generator, it break the turbine, and yeah, it's very very costly. So we try to catch that debris before enters to the turbines, and yeah, we clearly succeeded it. And these floating barriers is basically made with the waste, which which we take from making the anti-noise barriers. So yeah, we take waste and make that waste to catch more waste. This was the new material which we tested from from another materials. Is this material? It has different porosity and absorbability of the noise. This was the testing site in a university. Here we have some data from it and sound absorption coefficient. Basically, noise absorption is measured in a sound absorption coefficient. It's a ratio expressed in percent between absorbed energy, noise energy, and total energy. This coefficient depends on material density. So basically, we have two porous materials with one pores of material equal to other, but the density on the second material is higher than the first material is better for absorbing low tones, so under 100 hertz, and second is better for absorbing high tones, so closer to 1000 hertz. Material thickness, with increasing the material thickness of porous materials, is achieves better absorption of low tones, while the difference in high tones absorption is minimal. And porosity is also very crucial because when we have many small size pores, we can absorb very high noise, very high noise basically. And when we have a
apologies to interject, just to give you your 1 minute wrap-up note.
Yeah, all right. Okay, I'll wrap it up first. So I would like to say that Bamida is making a world more beautiful place because we installing anti-noise barriers, which we create basically silence. We install floating barriers, so we take waste from environment. And we also have printing machines, and we can create advertising or arts. Basically, yeah, we make a more beautiful place from around us. And also in our approach, our company approach in the circular and sustainability economy is gradually improving. So yeah, this is just sweet bonus on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pavel. Just a reminder to all participants that you're very welcome to post. If you could stop sharing, Pavel, that'd be appreciated. You're very welcome. So actually, in that case, if Kira Sol or Victor Felgueras, who is from Catalonia, Spain, if one of you could share, turn on your camera and share your slides, you're very welcome.
One moment.
And apologies, my handwriting on my notes, Clara, not Kira.
Apologies.
I realized that was an E, not a L, or rather a L, not an E. I'm just waiting. I can't see your screen yet, just before I hand over the conch to yourself. Ruth or Luca, can you see Clara's screen slides?
You see it?
There they come.
It's just come up now, yeah.
Same.
Okay.
Great. Clara, I'll hand over to yourself and Victor. You're very welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, my name is Clara Soler. I'm a policy officer of the Ministry of Climate Action, Food and Rural Agenda of Catalonia, and I represent the Catalan bioeconomy strategy for 2030. First, I will give you some data of Catalonia. As you know, Catalonia is a region of Spain. The total surface area is 32,000 square kilometers. The forest area is 63%, the agricultural area 25%, and the urban area 7%. We are 7.5 million inhabitants, and 95% is living in urban areas and 5% in rural areas. One moment. Okay, sorry, it's not working. Now. Okay, so the Catalan bioeconomy strategy was approved in 2021. You can download the document here, and we have also an action plan for the period 2022-2024, and you can also download the action plan. It's available in English, so if you want more information, you can download the documents. The bioeconomy is defined as a circular and sustainable economic model based on the use of renewable and local biological resources to produce goods and services in all economic sectors. Although the bioeconomy is a broad concept, the strategy focuses on areas and activities of the circular bioeconomy that are less developed, and therefore they need more institutional support. Okay, this is important. And also I want to say that the strategy is in coherence of other many strategies that we have in the government, like the strategic food plan for Catalonia or the circular economy roadmap. In the first action plan, we have identified the value chains with more bioeconomy potential. The first one is the use of forests. The second one, the forest resources. The second one is the recovery or use of livestock dissections or manure and organic waste. The third one is the recovery of and byproducts from the food chains, and the last one is the resilient agroforest landscape, the creation of this resilient agroforest landscape. This is very important because we have a huge forest fires in our Mediterranean context, and also a big drought. So this is very important also for us. The strategy defines 7 objectives. The first one is the use of biomass the first one is to identify and characterize the biomass. The second one is to create a business community. The third one is the promotion of the consumption of the bioproducts, bioenergy, and biomaterials. The fourth is about the resilient agriculture and forest landscapes. The fifth is to situate knowledge as a motor of the circular bioeconomy. 6 is the role of administration to adapt the legal and regulatory framework, very important to facilitate the transition to the circular bioeconomy. And the 7th one, and very important, is to prepare the Catalan society for this transition. We have in the first action plan, we have defined 15 transformative actions. One of them is the Circular Bioeconomy Hub, which my colleague Victor Falguera, which is the director of the Circular Bioeconomy Hub, will present. I want to say that these 15 actions have funds associated, either from the government, but most of them are EU funds. As you know, there are, for example, the Next Generation funds or the Common Agricultural Policy funds, and we have many European funds that are promoting these actions. So we identified them, and we have write down these funds and to try to implement them. And I will pass my floor to Victor. I don't know if he's in the.
He is.
I'm here.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect.
I can share. Will you share the presentation, Clara?
Yes.
You can do it yourself. Okay, it's fine.
Okay. Can you see the presentation now?
Yeah, but try to make it full screen, please.
Full screen, but I don't know because it's a PDF. I don't know if I can do it. Maybe. Sorry. Now better.
Yes. Thank you. So thank you, Clara, and thank you all the Origin members for having us on board today. And as Clara explained, the Catalan bioeconomy strategy is implemented through a number of actions which are organized in 3-year action plans. And the Catalan bioeconomy hub is one of the actions included in the first action plan. And you have to imagine the hub on the perspective of what's defined by the European Commission, not as a building, not as a facility, but as a connection point, as a one-stop shop, a single entry point office for all entrepreneurs and all companies trying to implement any kind of project. So our mission is to fully align every service provided by both public and private entities, and also trying to identify the gaps that we have as a country for implementing the Catalan bioeconomy strategy and all business models related to the bioeconomy. Clara, go on, please, to the next slide. The action is organized in these 6 objectives. I'm not going through all of them for a matter of time, but you have to think that we are fully oriented to high TRL, to put it easy, okay? We are orienting our activity to implementation, to ease implementation. And the overall concept is very easy. You have to think that most of you are related to the different levels of the public administration. And from the point of view of a company, the first thing that you have to, that you need to have clearly in your mind when you want to find any kind of service related to implementing a project is how the computational framework of your country and your region works, and which is the office that is responsible for any kind of measure. And this is very hard, and this is very time consuming. Our main purpose is to help companies to go smoothly through this phase. And the first objective, which is the main one is working on everything related to the risking of the investment that companies must do to implement this kind of projects. You know that bioeconomy, we've been talking about bioeconomy for a lot of years so far, but implementing projects from a company and from the industrial point of view is quite hard and takes a lot of risks. So what we are going to do is trying to reduce this risk through a number of action lines that I'm just going to show you. And the second main objective is to create this environment that is suitable for the companies that are operating in the bioeconomy to implement their actions. And the other 4 objectives are somehow accessories or let's say some kind of complement to facilitate these 2 first ones. The next slide is the most important one. This describes the 13 action lines that we have. Although the hub as an office is formally quite new, because I entered the job of coordinating the BioHub on December. So I've been in the office for less than 5 months so far. But as I'm going to explain a little bit in the last minute, because I think that it's probably one of the things that is more valuable for the Origin project and for the things that you are approaching in this project, is the story on how we built this. And this is to say that in all of these 13 action lines, we have a number of projects going on or already completed, because we were working with a number of actors with one single strategy and with one single objective on this line of implementing bioeconomy as a tool for transforming, for improving the overall economic model of our rural area, okay, long before the hub was formally open, and even before the bioeconomy strategy was approved. To give you some ideas, we are just editing information about the things that are needed to run a project, identifying the gaps that we have, providing business services, trying to implement what we call biopolygons, so specific industrial areas where the bio companies can go and find the best conditions, and so on. And just go to the next one, please, Clara. So, and how we are approaching these 13 action lines. First of all, we have to connect and promote the existing capacities. This is the hub mission, okay? This is the hub mission. So we are not going to do by ourselves something that someone is already doing in the country, okay? And if the companies, the businesses, the entrepreneurs identify a service that is needed and no one is providing it, we are going to promote this service, okay? And this is crucial. This is crucial, especially coming from the public administration, because this is our responsibility. Go to the next one, please. To give you one example, this is very common in the bioeconomy, but also in other sectors. And probably most of you in your regions have come to the same conclusion, because we have spent some time talking about this with European partners, and almost everyone is in the same approach. We have a lot of services. We have a lot of funding opportunities, even for projects that go from TRL 1 to 6. But once you finish this pilot scale, the risk is up to the companies, and this is where most projects die. So in the case specifically of the first value chain that we have identified together with the agri-food industry, we are now building a specific plant for upscaling projects related to alternative protein. Go on, please, Clara, because I'm running out of time. And you have 2 or 3 slides here if you have any doubt about this, because I think it's the most interesting point for the Origin project. As I said before, you can ask and we can talk about it later. But the hub as a structure, the need of having this one single entry point, this one-stop shop, was identified when the project was born in a municipal level in a very, very small area of Catalonia, which was dealing with the problems of managing manure and slurry from the farms, okay? And we saw bioeconomy as the opportunity to turn this weakness of the territory into this new path for the overall economic of this rural area, okay? And little by little, it was escalated, and we could participate in the design of the Catalan bioeconomy strategy. And throughout this process, this need for a one-stop shop went from this municipal level to the office that works in the entire country. Go on, please, to the next one. This is just to give you an overview of this small area. Each point here is a farm. We are the area with the highest concentration of farms in Europe. So our problem was very, very big on this. Go ahead, please. just to finish. And here you have the story on how we developed by practice this multi-actor approach, starting from this group of villages towards the implementation at the Catalan level through the Catalan bioeconomy strategy. And this is really interesting because through this, we were able not just to align the territorial needs, the bottom-up territorial needs with the top-down strategies in terms of the Catalan bioeconomy strategy, but the methodology is the new core of our smart specialization strategy. The RIS3 in Catalonia states this methodology as its core. And we have a number of other strategies related to the agri-food sector, also covering these needs that were unveiled by this bottom-up approach. And this is what I had for you today. Sorry about being so fast. I know that you have here a number of studies that we developed at this stage. And if you go to the last one, Clara, this was stated as a case study for the European Network for Rural Development in 2019, and this was before the Catalan bioeconomy strategy was even written. So we were able to just prove that these methodologies were useful to do something. And now, 5 years later, we are just gathering the fruits of this hard work that, as you know, is always the multi-actor, the real multi-actor approach. Thank you so much. If any of you has any question, we are just starting to implement a new European project called Prime, in which we are going to replicate this in other 4 regions in Europe. And we are just the project started in January this year. So we are just working the first steps to see if this can be applied also to other regions. So I will be more than happy to share the results of this project with the ORIGINN consortium. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clara and Victor. I'm conscious there's been very few questions in the chat. We have a couple. I'm mindful that it is an intense session. There's a lot of good practice being shared, a lot of insights. I would just invite Tania, Pavel, and Clara and Victor, just if you have, and you're still with us, to put your camera on so I know that you're in the room and can direct the last couple of questions for the second kind of Q&A session. So I have a question for Tania. Is she still with us, Ruth? Apologies, I don't see her. If you could just double check for me, that'd be great. So is she?
Will do.
Okay. So one of the things
Luca, are you aware? Sorry, maybe Luca has
okay,
more insight.
Again, I don't want to put anyone from Emilia-Romagna on the spot here, but I do see Vazi is still on the call. I'm very curious about the role of the region and the government in terms of its role coordinating European projects. So again, if there's anyone, Tania, you are still with us. Fantastic.
Yes, yes, sure.
I was curious about your role as a coordinator and leading some of these kind of ERDF, kind of the range EU Social Fund projects. If you could share insights for other ministries or government agencies about and reflections on how you've come to occupy that role, because in Ireland, and I know Ruth, you put a question, it is not common for ministries to lead and coordinate projects. They may encourage other actors in the ecosystem to pick up that role, but it's not common, or I am yet to see it extensively in Ireland. So I'm just very curious about your role as a coordinator and instigator to leverage European funds. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. Indeed, it is always difficult to find a coordinator, and I can give you the example of MASBE, that is the very big partnership that we have built up, crossing the smart specialization priorities of different regions and also ministries. The fact is that, for instance, in that case, we tried to avoid a coordinator by vote. We were trying to leave space and to offer space for other administrations, but no way. We were voted as a coordinator. In the case of other EU-funded projects, well, we have both experience as a coordinator, but also as a project partner. Of course, it is a responsibility. It is a responsibility. You have also to have, let's say, big and strong shoulders in order to really coordinate, because coordination means that you have assumed the responsibility not only towards the Commission or towards whatever kind of let's say body that is appointed to check all what you can do and what you implement at project or program level or whatever. But it means also to have the capacity at different levels in terms of finance, monitoring of activities. So it's quite complex, and you have also to get experience and skills enough good to support all the other that are within your partnership, which is not easy. Is a kind of a process. So of course, big administrations have personnel with experience on this, but of course it is demanding. Nevertheless, there is always a starting point. So I would say to everyone, don't be scared, because everything is just possible, and is also a process of learning by doing, which is the best. No theory is enough extensive in terms of knowledge, getting through, then acting concretely on the ground. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tizania. Pavel, I had a question for you just in terms of, there was a lot of technical information in your presentation. I was curious about, as a manufacturer of anti-noise barriers, was the example and pilot you highlighted an example of how you'd taken the residues of the textiles to create the floating barrier walls, or are you utilizing waste textiles to create the anti-noise barriers in the first place? Does that make sense?
We make, yeah, I understand. Basically, we create or make anti-noise barriers, and there is also some kind of waste which we cannot use to make another anti-noise barrier. So we take that waste and make the floating barriers basically from it.
Okay, then my follow-up clarifying question was just, what is the materials you're using to manufacture the anti-noise barriers in the first place? So you mentioned technical textiles, but I don't know what that means. And I'm not sure the rest of the audience, given your deep, kind of technical and you know your business so well, but for a broader audience, if you could elaborate, it'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, it's like recyclable PVC technical textiles. Okay. So, yeah.
And in the context of Slovakia, do you have any regulatory obligations? We had this conversation earlier around different regulatory obligations. Do you have to declare anything in order to use the production residues of that recyclable PVC?
I don't know if I understand you. Please.
So you said the residues from your process are what you use to make another product, the floating barrier walls. In the regulatory environment in Slovakia, are you required to notify any agency with regards to what you're doing, or in the Slovakian regulatory context, there is no regulatory obligation on industry to report? Because in Ireland, if a company was doing exactly what you were doing, we would be required to report to our Environmental Protection Agency to say, I'm taking these residues and I'm creating a new product. So I'm just curious about the different obligations in different jurisdictions.
I don't know for sure if we have something like that in Slovakia. We just make stuff from same material basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we just use it in our project because we have lots of waste with when we make these anti-noise barriers, and we finally can find them someplace. So basically, make floating barriers from it.
Thank you.
And it is not answer to your question, but we also make some little stuff from this waste. So basically, like bags or some cover on papers and like office things.
Thank you.
So we used, yeah.
Great. Apologies. This is rapid fire Q&A. I'm very conscious. I've got to let everybody go in a couple of minutes. So a question for Clara and or Victor, sorry. Could you comment on the state of infrastructure for the development of the bioeconomy in your region? For example, anaerobic digestion plants. And that was a question from Ruth. And I'm mindful in the context of the Irish ecosystem, bioeconomy is quite developed. However, anaerobic digestion is still something that has not kind of fully matured in the Irish context. So perhaps that is what's driving Ruth's question there. Victor?
Clara, I don't
Victor,
know if
sorry.
Yes.
I could not hear the question because I don't know what happened, but my computer was...
Okay, so Geraldine, could you...
Yeah, it's in the chat as well, so you can have if reading is better. I'm mindful that I'm racing. It was a query about the state of infrastructure development to support bioeconomy in your region, given those big investment costs. And you highlighted when you put up your TRL map, and that's very true for both bioeconomy, where it's multi-millions to invest in biorefineries, never mind anaerobic digestion. So if you could share some insights into the state of the infrastructure investment and development in your region, specifically with regards to anaerobic digestion, would be great.
Okay. No, I just want to say that, in fact, one of the barriers that we identified while we were elaborating the strategy was to scale up, the pilot plans to the industrial plans. This was a main barrier, and we put many efforts to try to promote this. Victor, you can explain more about this. So.
Yeah, in fact, one of the ecosystems that we studied when building the overall idea was the Irish ecosystem. We were there some years ago. We have a great relationship with the Irish Bioeconomy Foundation. We invited them to be partners in this prime project. So one of the areas in which we are going to work is Ireland, in fact. And I would say that that bioeconomy is a very, very broad concept. So the scale-up facilities are very, very unique for each process. So it's very hard and expensive to think of flexible upscaling facilities. And this is a major barrier throughout Europe and throughout the world. So what I'd say is that we have to think very clearly of the specialization that we want to prioritize in each area in Europe, at least in Europe, if we want to be competitive in Europe as a whole in terms of developing the bioeconomy. And this is why, for example, the flagships of the CBE exist. But in terms of ecosystems, when it comes to anaerobic digestion, for example, we have a number of facilities in Catalonia dedicated to optimizing processes and trying to, new configurations, new technologies, new recipes, and so on. But we have to understand that these kind of facilities are expensive, and in most cases, when we are thinking of these high TRLs from 7 to 8, for example, if we see the approach from the user point of view, the user of these facilities, if they are successful in their projects, they will build their own facility. So one of the main things that we learned, mainly from the Dutch and from the Danish, I think, is that this kind of upscaling facilities should prioritize technologies that are already on the market for building and for improving new things. So there must be a level of innovation there, of course, but probably not only in terms of the technology, but in terms of the process, or on the ingredients, or in the setting parameters of the entire process. So the mindset that we have to have, that you need to have very clear in mind when designing these upscale facilities is a bit different to that we need when we build a pilot plant.
Thank you, Victor.
We experiment on technologies, for example.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure we could spend another half an hour deep diving on any of the examples we've discussed today, but it's my job to keep us to time and to just kind of close today's session. And I've got 2 minutes, so I'm going to do a whistle-stop tour of what we've covered today and just highlight a couple of my own reflections. So we kicked off this morning's webinar with an engagement from Organic Estonia. And one of the key messages that Margit Pruul highlighted was the importance of integration between agriculture and renewable energy, in the sense of the importance, in addition to organic practices, to create energy independence, and what that was doing for Estonia and its objectives to become an organic country. We then moved to Romania, where we heard from Elisa Contarini, and apologies if I'm saying these names wrong, I'm doing the best I can, around local gastronomic points and the role that they've played, driven by supports from the National Agency for Mountain Areas around local community development, linking rural production and tourism, and the successes of farm to fork and the shortest food chain. We then went to Sweden, where we were introduced to the municipality of Härjedalen by Franziska Gandert, and industrial symbiosis was highlighted. A very modest budget to explore and unlock and highlight opportunities for material energy flows, as well as opportunities for creating circular business models through dialogues, workshops. And the key message there was that it's really important to engage the ecosystem and provide a platform for dialogue, because a lot of industry actors may have waste or production residues, but they don't have the capacity to navigate the regulatory obligations. They don't have the internal capacity because their core business is perhaps producing something else, and therefore innovation intermediaries are needed to support that process, to highlight where opportunities exist. Then we went to Emilia-Romagna in Italy, where we heard from Tizania Apollinia around the broad range of activities that the Emilia-Romagna region has led. We discussed, or in the Q&A, I suppose, again, the history of their role as a coordinator, which is something that I'd like to just, I suppose, encourage, as Tizania did, all public sector actors to, I suppose, step in if the ecosystem does not have actors who are doing it, or work with actors in your regions to do it, to leverage REDF and EU Social Fund to explore the green, blue, circular and space fields. Then we went to Prešov in Slovakia. We heard from Pavel Dvorak from Bermuda, who highlighted his innovation project funded through a collaboration with Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein, to ultimately essentially improve anti-noise barriers, which are developed through recycled PVC textiles, and then utilize the production residues to create floating barrier walls, which in turn collected and prevented waste in watercourses. We then moved to Catalonia in Spain, where we heard from Chiara Sol and Victor Felgueras. We heard both about the Catalan government's circular bioeconomy strategy and action plan, and then we had an insight into the BioHub Catalonia. I think, again, I've run over by minutes. It's been a fascinating journey. One of the things that struck me is that some of the insights that have come from different contexts of the green, blue and circular bioeconomy ring true across those, around the need for taking a holistic approach. Victor, what you flagged with regards to, it's really important that we fill gaps. That's true for CirculEire. That's how CirculEire has evolved over the same period, which I alluded to very briefly in my introduction. Given the urgency and the scale of the challenges facing our societies over the next coming decades, it's really important that we foster and fill gaps and communicate. So it's been a pleasure to be with you all today, to share insights into the lesson learned. Thank you to Ruth Kilcullen in EMRA, and to Luca, and I'm trying to find you on Luca Chiodni from Emilia-Romagna. It's been a pleasure. And I think unless Ruth or Luca would like to say a final statement, we should probably wrap up today's webinar.
Thank you so much, Geraldine. Yes, I'd just like to say thank you, moderator extraordinaire. We're really, really close to bang on time, and you've been a fantastic guide for us all through this. So thank you so much. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you so much to everyone who has attended today's webinar, and stay tuned for the next Origin webinar, which we'll be holding a few months from now. Thank you all so much for your participation. Take care.
Thank you. Have a lovely rest of day wherever you are.
Okay.
Luca, do you
And,
want to come in?
Yeah,
Thank you,
just 20 seconds to thanks everybody, and just to join the words of Ruth are mine words as well. So she loved every single words from me. Okay, thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody, especially to Tiziana.
Thank you
It's
very
our
much.
presenter, but
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thanks
and
to everybody.
Special thanks to Geraldine. Special thanks to Geraldine. Most of
Thank
all,
you
and
all.
Ruth, who was very, very successful in organizing this webinar. Ciao a tutti. Ciao.
Thank
Bye
you
bye.
all.
Everybody,
Bye.
ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
See
Ciao.
you in Dublin.
No, in Athlon, not Dublin.
Yes.
In Athlon.
See you in Athlone. Yeah.
In Athlon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.